a physical sense, but certainly in a mental sense. I think there was. Well, let me first say good morning, Matt Jones. How are you today?
Yo.
Yes, very well said. There was something that Dylan Sampson, the Tennessee star running back, said after the Razorbacks' victory Saturday night over the then fourth-ranked Volunteers. He said that he took a little bit of a lackadaisical approach in the bye week, and I don't know if he put that lackadaisical approach on Tennessee struggling as mightily as they did against the Arkansas defense. But it's right there in front of you. You got a program that's 3-0 under Coach Pittman after a bye week. Wins over Mississippi State, Auburn, and Florida over these last 3 years. Of course, no bye week in the COVID season of 2020. Can't be lackadaisical this week. Can't rest on any laurels or anything like that. You get a little extra time maybe, I guess, Matt, to bask in the glory, so to speak, of a win that brought your fans down from the stands onto the field. But can't be lackadaisical. You got to be serious, I guess, this week. I guess that makes this a pretty serious Wednesday for us.
Well, you can get better during your bye week. Do you think Alabama, they were believing their press clippings and then they go up there to Nashville and lay an egg and the way Vandy played with them. So, yeah, I mean, it's we were double-digit dogs against Tennessee. What do you think will be five? I don't know what it'll be, but LSU would be favored by about a touchdown, don't you think?
I think so. I don't remember what the line was when you remember Bet Saracen put like all of the SEC Arkansas games out early, at least the betting lines on them. I can't find where they've got Arkansas LSU now. You may be waiting for this Ole Miss game to see where it is you're going to stand as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I do think Arkansas will still be a home dog against LSU. I would just assume that there is belief across the betting public, at least, and just the football watching public, that this is a much improved team upon last year. Although it is kind of interesting, and I don't have the math right in front of me and everything, but do you realize that Arkansas scored more points in their first 3 SEC games last year than they have this year? Yet a 2-1 record. and we're singing the praises of an offensive line that made such a big improvement from the A&M game to the Tennessee game, but they are a lower scoring team for the time being over the first 3 SEC games this year than they were last year, Matt. Now, I'll be honest, I guess all you got to do is just look at the scores and you'd realize that, but I had not thought about it. But it is true. The first 3 SEC games last year, all losses, I will say. Isn't that what matters most? 31 points, 22 points, and 20 points. LSU, A&M, Ole Miss were the opponents. And now this year, 24, 17, and 19 against Tennessee. Yet, I mean, I'm watching it with my eyes too, Matt, and it does look like an improved offense. It's just scoring-wise against their first 3 SEC opponents. They're lower scoring than last year.
Well, that first drive, we have 11-play drive down the field and beat ourselves. We get a false start by the guard, then we short arm a throw where a receiver or running back in the flat's going to walk in the end zone. Satania dropped one. There was touchdowns out there that if you look at it, and the team looks good, but yeah, we kind of beat ourselves a little bit.
Arkansas scoring 19 touchdowns on 29 trips into the red zone. Maybe there's an idea of they're getting into the red zone, just not necessarily finishing all the drives. And your kicker, you've missed quite a few more field goals than last year. That might be part of it. But that caught me a little bit by surprise. I guess I would have expected that it is a higher scoring offense. I think they're a more efficient offense. It's just a matter of not turning the ball over, right? No turnovers, though, against Tennessee, and still just 19 points, and that came down to finishing a couple of drives.
And not just the last game, but, the quarterback might take a sack that kind of puts you out of field goal range. We've just kind of done some things. That's what's encouraging about this team is we could get out of our own way and just play and make the routine play, we can. I think I agree with Coach Pittman that if our defense is going to show up and we can just get out of our own way on offense, we can play with anybody.
I guess first things first is eliminate the turnovers in that.
Got to have a zero. Gotta have a 0 on that column.
If you're going to eliminate mistakes, would that be the first of the mistakes that you eliminate? Is turning the ball over? What would it be after that? Penalties near the goal line, maybe a little first down awareness, maybe a couple of other things that could rise into people's minds. So we wonder what you think about it. 877-377-6963. Paul says we're running the ball better, giving the defense time to rest. There's no two ways about that. They hold on to the ball a lot better. They're so much better on third down than last year. And I think the defense is also better than they were on third down last year. So it does work both ways. The offense holds on to the ball a little more. Defense isn't on the field as long as I think they were, not just last year, but the year before as well. So that's nice to see. That's a good idea from Paul. Running the ball better, that's always going to help. And keeping the quarterback upright and not getting smashed in the knee the way that Taylon Green was smashed in the knee on Saturday by number 55. Can't remember what his name was, but I remember the number when he crashed right into him. That was Omar Norman Lott, who hit Green low on, it was the left knee. And that's the first thing everybody's wondering about as far as Taylon Green's possible availability next week for the LSU game. Sam Pittman did address that this morning on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, we're hoping that he'll be ready for LSU. We're also hoping that he'll be ready by next week to practice. Those are still up in the air just a little bit, Bo. But we feel confident that we can have him back. It's just we're not positive that will happen.
There's one thing that does make me not nervous about it, but it's just the kind of quarterback that Taylon is, Matt, is that his legs are such a weapon, and it's also just got to be in the, not in the back of any defensive coordinator's mind and the defender's mind, but at the forefront. He's so elusive and so quick with those long strides. But even if he's able to get back on the field against LSU next Saturday, and that's 10 days away, I do wonder, if he'll be a little diminished in his ability to evade the pass rush, create on the fly, and, be the creative quarterback that he has been for these first 6 games. And really what we saw up until the injury against Tennessee on Saturday, and then you could see in the one play after that, he couldn't do those things again.
Well, you have to, a couple questions. Is 80% of Taylon Green better than 100% of Singleton? And then it could be the Donovan McNabb effect. You get hurt somewhere where you can't use it. So now maybe he focuses up a little bit better and passes the ball better. I think he will. I think just sitting in the pocket because he's going to have to go through your reads and do that. I think it might elevate his passing game when you kind of take something away.
You just think about the idea of the hit that he took when he delivered that great throw to Armstrong deep down the right sideline. He stood in there and he took the hit. He didn't try to get out of the way of that. Maybe that is something he's going to have to get used to doing. But it's not like anybody has a chance to see him run or move at all throughout the week. And practice has been closed as well, so it's not like anybody's going to see him moving or anything outside of the team and the coaching staff before he gets on the field, if he does get on the field at Razorback Stadium next Saturday. So that's where we start halftime today. I want to remind you about WT Equipment's closeout deals on Hustler zero-turn mowers, machines that are built like tanks but drive like sports cars, fabricated, welded steel decks, and all the power you need, plus a warranty to match. Don't settle for those cheap units from big box stores. Get over to WT Equipment. They will guide you to the right mower for you and your budget. The deals last while the supplies last, and they're priced to move at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Grant Hall joins halftime for a segment right after this break.
I'll eat liver, raw liver, if we win this game Saturday.
This is halftime.
It's over. Down goes Auburn. The number 1 team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Budweiser Arena. They are rushing the floor at Budweiser Arena.
Hey, don't do that. No.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cabin, HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
That's the the song on the radio. Why your face?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And to do our hotline here, Grant Hall joins us on a Wednesday morning, as usual. Always look forward to these visits. Grant, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing fine, Phil, and I was just thinking now, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, when Joe Namath was quarterbacking the New York Jets, Lou Holtz told me one time after the fact, he said that he could not he did not have Joe Namath's phone number, and he had to go through his agent to talk to his quarterback. and now, you know, that's what Namath and Aaron Rodgers have in common. Both have won one Super Bowl and got all the power, you know. And man, it just shows. This thing that the owner Woody Johnson said about talking to Aaron Rodgers, but not about the football team. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then the coach gets fired a little bit later.
Well, especially it's a team where the defense is playing well enough. It's the offense that is kind of not playing well. More on the quarterback. Saleh's more of a defensive-minded coach. I was reading that he was about to fire the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, and then Woody Johnson got to him before he could do that.
Well, Rodgers wants to run the offense his way. He's always been that way, and now we'll see if it works. I mean, I think he averaged 5 yards per pass the other day, the way they ran it, and then now we'll see what he does going forward.
It's interesting seeing, you know, where the players have the power in some situations, and then in this situation, a player who's only played how many games has Rodgers played for the Jets? Even is it 5 in the last 2 years? It's the money too.
Yeah, one last year.
That's about it. That's right.
And he's got a gimpy ankle, but I'm supposing he can get over that. Just as we, you know, do we think that Taylon Green's going to be 100% in the next ball game? What do you guys think?
Well, that's what we were getting into in the last segment. Is, you know, I mean, and I think Matt made a really good point. Maybe if he isn't at 100%, if he's about 80 or 85%, and he's not as elusive, not as quick, and feels just a little discomfort in that leg and that knee, maybe it forces him to read the defense a little bit more. Not, you know, I've seen the word panic thrown out when it comes to how he plays quarterback, and maybe that's legit in some cases. But I thought that was an interesting vantage point from Matt.
The Democrat Gazette said that he had a strained MCL. I have not seen that as official announcement. Of course, there's no, you know, they're quiet this week, but others call it a hyperextended knee. What you hope is that there's not some loose cartilage or something in there, but who knows? I mean, we don't know.
Grant, what do you think about our depth? You know, a backup quarterback, backup running back, backup field goal kicker, making big plays, making winning plays. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, and I thought Herbstreit had a great point during the game when he said Arkansas can't get this ball at their own 20. And so it was huge, those two punts by Bale of 66 and 65 yards, and then Arkansas could get it back at the 40. And I think didn't Satania have a little bit of a return there to get them to that point? And then they, you know, they moved 40 yards or so, and then Tennessee flopped. And I'm going to ask you, Matt, you're the coach there. You're looking at a situation where maybe you get the ball back with 8 or 10 seconds left, down by 2 points after the chip shot field goal. Do you do what Tennessee's coach there did and try to take the book? Because they got back to Arkansas's 15-yard line doing it the way he did it.
Yeah, I mean, you had 2 timeouts, I believe. You went over a minute. It just becomes what you're trying to do is how much time do we need, and you need over a minute. And so yeah, it just kind of you're saying, hey, look, I got confidence in the offense. We're in 4-down territory. You go over the whole thing. I'd be pulling my hair out if I was a special teams coach and you run into a punter like that. I mean, you talk about a play losing a game for you on special teams. If you're not going to get the ball, you cannot get anywhere near that guy.
It wasn't even on like an attempted block of the punt. I mean, he just sort of. I think it seemed like he decided like I was going to go elbow this kid in the head.
And really, even though it was a great acting job by Bale, they could have called roughing the kicker there. You know, I mean, it was a big enough hit, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it certainly looked like it was, but and I saw it was in the Democrat Gazette where one of the readers had sent in a question about the Arkansas offense, where I had not really, it hadn't hit me that last year in the first 3 SEC games, Grant, they scored more points than they have in the first 3 SEC games this year. Now, I know part of that They played LSU last year earlier than this year. That defense was absolutely terrible. I think that's got to be a reason why. But point being is that they're a lower scoring offense against SEC teams through 3 games than last year. That said, next 2 opponents, LSU, Mississippi State, not the best defensive teams. Mississippi State really struggling. So I would think with Green you're going to be able to get it going a lot more than with Singleton. But I have a sense you get a chance to kick the offense into maybe a higher gear in terms of finishing drives, touchdowns once you get into the red zone these next 2 games, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, I said last week that I thought if Arkansas could get a 150-150 standoff in rushing and a standoff in turnovers, they could win the game. And they got outrushed 174-134, but that was close. Or I think it was 178-134, something like that. But that was close enough, with the way the rest of the.
And I was going to say, in the 0 turnovers, that was what the key was. And going forward, Grant, we get 6 games left, and there's a lot to like about this team, and there's a lot to nitpick a little bit. Give me one thing you really like about this team going forward, and then one thing you would like to see us improve on.
Well, I've liked Green all along, and I know a lot of people were apoplectic about his passing percentage, but that improved quite a bit last week, and he's definitely a two-way threat when he's healthy, and so that part. And then I think the defense, a guy said to me yesterday or the day, I can't remember, but he said Travis Williams is going to be the Broyles Award winner this year, has a chance to be the Broyles Award winner. Now, that's assuming they continue to have team success.
Yeah, we win 9 games. I could see that.
Yeah, and so but it's interesting because LSU Ole Miss this week, Ole Miss is favored at LSU on a Saturday night, if you can conceive of such a thing. But it's because you mentioned the LSU defense is suspect, and obviously Ole Miss is very good, apart from that loss last week. So I mean, how do you guys see that game shaking out Saturday night?
I got LSU.
I'm going Ole Miss. I was really impressed how Ole Miss played against South Carolina on the road. I think they'll be fine.
On paper, but I got to go with Death Valley. I think in the Saturday night magic there.
It's a strange brew down there on a Saturday night.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
it's amazing, especially after a loss and you're walking back to your car and the LSU fans have some very choice things to say to you. It's not the other fan bases aren't quite like that towards broadcasters, but LSU is.
I told you about the time, guys. Phil, one time we had our rental car with about 4 sports writers in there got hit and disabled, and so we're on the highway trying to get to the game, and the band bus comes by, so we piled into there. We flagged them down, and when we got to the game, LSU fans were there with their liquor bottles and everything. This is a day game, and they physically shook the bus. I mean, it looked like they were tilting it back and forth. This is the band bus, okay? That's what LSU fans were like back then.
Staying up late for baseball play. I couldn't make it to the end of the Dodgers-Padres last night. Didn't really need to watch more after the second inning, but it's been an entertaining series, Grant.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of this baseball, Phil. I don't know about you, but this is the best, at least early postseason collection of games I can ever remember. I mean, just back and forth games, crazy good. And I hope the rest of the playoffs are like this. And I got to mention, Stanek is striking out 10.9 batters per 9 innings this year. I think he's been in at least 4 postseason games. Yesterday, 13 pitches, an inning and a third completion of the game. It wasn't a save because they were ahead, but still, he's done well for them.
I think it's interesting watching how I think Max Muncy was talking about this last night. How the everything the Padres do when they play the Dodgers has an intention of getting under their skin. Look, Tatis would have stood there and pimped that grand slam no matter who he was playing against. But there's a certain thing. I mean that. Like Machado, the way he threw the ball into the dugout. I think this may be the best rivalry in baseball right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And the Padres have a chance to get him. But speaking of theatrical players, Phil. Luis Tiant died at age 83, not too long after Pete Rose died at 83. They were both in that great 75 World Series. And I did not see in the story where Tiant is a Hall of Famer. Have I missed that? Is he not in the Hall of Fame?
He did not get voted into the Hall of Fame. That's right.
220 something wins, I think, and a 3 something ERA. And who knows? Maybe he'll get in someday. But it's a lot of interesting things going on in sports right now, guys. I said that they're having this meeting with the Big Ten and the SEC in Nashville this week, and 15 of the top 25 teams in the country are in one or the other of those conferences. And now I read that it's going to a 14-team playoff by 2026. Why not just let all 128 in? Let's just and then have it. All you got to do is win 7 games to be in postseason to be the national champ. Let's just let everybody in.
Grant, what I'm getting a sense, and there's so many like proposals that seem that they're coming out. This college student football league that's been proposed. This Project Rudy, which some private equity groups are pitching and sending out there. And then there's this meeting that's I think it's starting today and going through tomorrow in Nashville with the SEC athletic directors and the Big Ten athletic directors. Of course, the commissioners will be there as well. And what I'm getting a sense from that meeting, there's scheduling they'll talk about and trying to get more teams into the college football playoff, of which the scheduling I think is part of it. But what I'm getting a sense is that these two leagues just look to separate themselves from the others, even more so than they are now. And hey, it's like they're having this meeting at the perfect time to have a counterpoint to a college student football league or a Project Rudy, in which, man, that sounds like an amazing idea, but it'd be really far-fetched to actually convince the people you got to convince to do that, which would be the people who are meeting in Nashville these next 2 days. And they don't need to separate themselves because these two leagues already are separated from everybody else.
They're getting too heavy-handed, and all it's going to take is about one more pandemic, and then what we're talking about with Rudy may happen naturally. Wouldn't it be amazing if your football team consisted of the people on your campus that went out and played, and then you cheered for all those people like it used to be way, way back in the day? And I think there are 32 players from Arkansas out of 120 on this roster, and about 14, 15 really play, and by 8 or 9 play significantly. And that is totally different from the way it used to be. But in this era of big money and filling up the stadium and yelling like crazy for great football plays, I think probably most fans are okay with the way it is now.
Grant, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate your visits. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See you.
You got it. Grant Hull with us each Wednesday on Halftime. I'd seen Trey Biddy, and I also got another text from someone who would have a sense that Sam Pittman has confirmed a mild MCL sprain for Taylon Green. Clarified since then. He has clarified since the comment that it was a sprain. I guess he said this today on the teleconference. It's a bone bruise. That sounds a heck of a lot better than a sprain or a strain of muscle or ligament. Bone bruise sounds like something you can recover from and be ready to play next Saturday, just a guess.
Cold Tub, man, you got some of the best treatment staff, training staff, doctors up there in the world, and listen to what they say, and flexibility, range of motion. Being as young as he is, maybe he's a quick healer. I mean, you're around some players, they heal up pretty quick.
Do you remember what it felt like to be a quick healer, Matt? I do. I don't know what it feels like anymore, because an ankle sprain that used to take like 2 days to recover from, now it just leads to more injuries. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on Halftime. We'll be back in just a moment with much more.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning start with Wrangler. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren. The Neumeier family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Neumeier's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Neumeier family.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You made a fool of me, but the broken dream got to you got to move. You ain't got no sense to do. There's an open road that leads nowhere. Just 6 miles between you there. There's a hole in
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Sam Pittman was on the Chuck and Bo show this morning, and here is his comment on why he brought in Travis Williams to be the defensive coordinator at Arkansas.
He's a great person, and so I knew I knew some things I was going to get right after the interview. Matter of fact, right after I interviewed him, I called Hunter and I said I found my guy. I knew I was going to get a recruiter. Anytime a guy becomes known as a recruiter, he also becomes known as a player's coach. And I knew that he could motivate the kids that he coached. I knew all those things. He was better than I thought that he would be even, and I knew he was going to be good, but he was better the first year than I thought even he was going to be. And then I knew that if we could keep the staff around him, that we could be pretty good.
You know where I think they really hit? It's like you brought up in the last segment, Matt, asking Grant one thing he liked and one thing to improve on about Arkansas right now. I really like what they did at the safety and nickelback. These could be the highest producing players defensively. I think Landon Jackson is your best defender, but he's eaten up a couple of blocks, and he's in terms of production, he's really just gotten going in the last couple of games. Think of T.J. Metcalf, Danico Slaughter, Jaden Johnson, just to name a couple of them that are playing back there. Larry Worth, who I think played really well against Tennessee. Well, they've done it safety and nickelback. Also, a lot of it coming after spring ball, in the portal season after spring ball. Just very impressive. I think, defense as a whole is playing really well. I like the defensive line. Linebackers it's deeper than I thought it was than it was going to be, but I really like their safeties and nickelbacks.
They've been a joy to watch so far this year. They play fast, they play hard, they play smart. Not a lot of dumb penalties. Is it petty that I don't want Chris Paul to win at Ole Miss when they play LSU, so they're knocked out already?
No,
that's why I went. He could have been part of this defense and running around and could had a chance to be because he'd be out there making plays, but he wants to go to Ole Miss. I don't want them winning.
But would he have been paid the same? But he was the first to go in. Was he the first defender to go into the portal?
First guy to go.
Yeah,
but you got to have safety.
It's like that guy. Come on, you're going to build a defense around him.
Yeah, he flies around, but he's a heck of a player. But you got to have safeties in this area because safeties, they make up for some mistakes, so they don't have a little mistake become a big mistake. And safeties come down in that run defense and close gaps real quick and stop it's like they stop it at 3 or 4 yards instead of being 8. But then if it gets through that next level, you never know. Then that's when they start popping them. So safety play, man, if you don't have it, it's tough. And then you can't get beat over the top. And I'm trying to think this year. I don't remember a lot of plays where they're just throwing it over the top of our heads.
There was only one that Tennessee hit, and that was the third to last play on the last drive, and it was just really because Iamaleava was able to scramble a little bit and create a little room. But you're right, you've seen some big plays, but it's more been a missed tackle like the A&M Noah Thomas down the right sideline.
Auburn, same thing, fourth down,
yeah, one or a run. It's really the missed tackles. It's not anybody getting behind them. I'm trying to find. Paul's statistic. He is Ole Miss's leading tackler, by the way.
Oh, he's a beast, and I'm halfway joking. I don't, you want the kid to play well, but
halfway, but maybe the other half.
I'm going for LSU, man.
I believe the other half too, Matt. I really do believe the other half. It's like I will say that, like choosing between rooting for LSU and Ole Miss, it's a difficult thing.
My
to
folks,
choose between.
Whenever this was, 100 years ago when I played college football, but my folks, we went down to Baton Rouge. They traveled and went to some games. They said the absolute best fan base, best fans towards them was LSU.
So those three or four really drunk fans by the porta potties.
Always had food. Man, they were very, very kind. I went down there with a couple buddies when we had. I think Bobby Petrino was here. They call it the Honey Badger game. Remember when Metcalf went off against Auburn?
Yeah.
I was at that game when Honey Badger returns a punt for a touchdown, has 2 fumble recoveries, one for just was all over the field that day. And they were still, I mean, I guess when they're whooping you by 30, you got to be nice, right?
Yeah, they weren't too pleased when Arkansas went in there in 2021 and pulled off a victory. In fact, I think the sheriff's deputy down on the field was throwing his authority around quite a bit. If I remember correctly, Chuck was trying to do the television show with Coach Pittman, and they were basically, I think they were about threatened with arrest if they stayed on the field any longer. Now, if LSU would have won that game, maybe the stopwatch would have clicked a little bit later than that. Slaughter, I thought Danico Slaughter played with that proverbial, I'm going up against my former team. One of the guys
he caught Sampson from behind.
Yes, he did.
Man, that's so big. That feeds your whole defense. Gets man. That's kind of a boost. Saving a touchdown like that, giving you a chance to hold them to 3.
Defended a pass on the last drive, and he had to get helped up a couple of times. I couldn't exactly tell what it was that was bothering him, but I think because of a couple of his hits, he wasn't feeling his best, but it didn't keep him from playing his best. I mean, we had him on the post-game show as well as our star of the game. And you get to do something pretty amazing to be a defender that gets there. We had T.J. Metcalf on, of course, after his great game against Auburn. But I thought that said a lot about Slaughter. In fact, I mean, look on the other side, too. Addison Nichols played really well, outside of a couple of snaps here and there towards Singleton. I don't know if I had asked you about this, Matt, but Coach Pittman had said about one of the things that's going on with the snap isn't necessarily the height or of the snap, if it's too high or too low. I think he described it as it's almost like a Nolan Ryan fastball coming back too hard. You could even tell that seemed to Singleton caught all of the snaps, but there was one where it's just like it got at him really, really quickly. So, but it still seems that Nichols is learning how to play the position and that one specialty aspect of it. But I thought he played really well against his former team, too. So, hey, that's got to make those guys feel really, really good about their choices to come to Arkansas and that the guys backed them up, and they backed themselves up so well against their former team.
The starting unit gets used to the cadence. It's kind of like a family when you hear your sister or your son, or you haven't seen them all day. You hear them, you can just tell that's their voice. That's kind of how you get with the starting. And then it's a new quarterback. He's been running with the twos, been running with Russell. He hadn't been taking a lot of starting unit reps, so you expect something to be a little bit off, and then it's a good thing you got a bye week now because he'll get to take a couple first team reps, and they'll get a little more comfortable with them.
Do you expect as a quarterback? It's like when I would, my dad's a pitcher. I was a catcher. I think he trained me that way so that he would always have a bullpen catcher up until about the age of 25. But he would get not angry, but he would just be upset. He wanted me to make sure that every throw back to him was at the very same spot. Chest high, don't make the pitcher work to catch the throw back from the catcher. Is it the same thing from the center? Don't you expect it at the very same spot every single time?
Well, there's different plays. It's different footwork, so to speak, and they're just getting used to it. He might have a reach block. He might have a pass block. It's not the same thing, but yes. That's good of your father. That's you just throw it back. It's I had a buddy that he was we were playing, I don't know, 7th grade, 8th grade baseball, and we'd grow up playing, and the guy steals first and goes to second, and he overthrows throws it to the center field, and the next inning he does it again, throws it to center field, and the game gets over, and we walk up because him and my dad are buddies and stuff, and he's like, you know what, Clark, nobody stole center field on you today. That was funny.
That's gonna make it. See, yeah, you gotta be. Well, that's the opposite of self-deprecating. That's being deprecation on somebody else. But
he was the best.
He chuckled when he said it.
He was the best baseball player on the team, so that's why you kind of if you can't kind of jab at the best baseball player on the team, then as a 9th grader he was the best baseball player on the high school team.
Seth in Fort Smith texted, he thinks Sorey is better than Chris Paul Jr.
Well, imagine having both of them flying around.
No kidding.
Sorey's a beast. I'm not denying that. Chris Paul, he's a beast too. I mean, they're both probably play on Sundays.
They are the leading tacklers of the teams that they play for. I really do like watching Sorey play. He is lightning quick, and finishes most of the tackles that he gets into. Chris in Springdale says he's interested in the Ole Miss LSU game because Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly like to give each other a hard time. One will walk out there with a bottle of Dasani water at the post-game handshake. The other with a Coca-Cola with the calorie count on it, I guess. Kiffin is entertaining, but at least Kelly can be a little self-deprecating about himself because he can be a little awkward sometimes. But this is a big one. I mean, that's a rivalry game right there. LSU Ole Miss. That's huge for both of them. This is as good as Ole Miss has been in a long time. And boy, they did bounce back after that. After that loss against Kentucky, they played really well against Carolina.
LSU, Arkansas, A&M, bye week, Bama. I mean, this is their biggest game of the year. They have to win this game, or their season is no question. It's over. I was trying to see Ole Miss. They get Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia. I mean, it's not as big. I guess they still got to play Georgia.
It's pretty tough 3-game stretches for both of them.
Yeah.
Arkansas being one of the tough teams on that stretch as well. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. Remember, Saturdays for football are meant to be at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They've got half-price apps and half-price taps during the game, and all day long, endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas and sangrias. There'll be $2 Busch Light drafts during the game. Joe's Grill and Cantina, where you want to watch Arkansas football and just enjoy yourself at 74th Street in Fort Smith, right across from Harps. joesfortsmith.com to put in an order or to get a look at the menu. Halftime back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Study basketball training has moved to the Hangout in Fort Smith. With basketball training classes from kindergarten through high school, there is a spot for your athlete. Depending on your skill set and training needs, the Study offers 3 class options: fundamentals, advanced, and 94 feet. You can also work on your explosiveness with Vertimax training or perfect your shot on the Dr. Dish machine. The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thestudyhoops.com for more details. Fitness, sports, and now the Study basketball training. Let's hang out.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Wits Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Wits Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Now I'm falling asleep, and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke, and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed, and my stomach is sick, and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest. Now he takes off her dress.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Woods did exactly that. He called us up. We got a short segment, so let's take Woods' call. Hey, Woods. Always good to hear from you. What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I heard your conversation about you and your dad playing catch, and I also know Dr. Liggett.
We had Dr. Liggett, and that was Monday for 3 Up, 3 Down. That's right.
Yeah, I played baseball with his brother.
Very good.
And he was my throwing partner, and you talk about having to hit the spot. Like, this is the guy that I wanted to warm up with because we weren't going to have to chase balls, right?
It's a very important
we
aspect
were never
of
gonna
having
have
a
to
catch.
chase balls. Yeah. He was awesome. He was so good. But yeah, that's fantastic. And I do that with my father too, because I can't have him running for baseball. So, because I don't know that he would make it back.
My father is 76 years old. He still pitches, like real baseball, still pitches. But if I were to have a catch with him, I think I would force myself to go chase down any balls that I throw over his head. That's on me. I'm going to make that.
We would have to go get it.
Exactly.
He just stands there, right? And you just got to go get it.
Yeah. Even if I threw it into traffic, I would chase that thing down.
Well, that's awesome. The other thing I'd say is, at 4, beating Tennessee is great, but there's a lot of work left to do, and I think this team has it in them to at least get 3 more wins. I don't know what you guys think, but I think there's 3 wins left in this ball club.
I think a big thing is number 10 healthy. I'm with you. If 10 is healthy, then I'm 100% with you.
And also part of that too, Matt, it's also just what you were hitting on earlier. If he isn't 100%, what kind of quarterback is Taylen Green at 85%? We may find that out next Saturday.
And is Singleton, that's when it starts coming down to, is 80% of Taylen Green, or do you have 100% of Singleton?
That's right. It's a lot of math we got to figure out over the next 10 days.
And you don't want the kid to get hurt anymore is the thing. Like, the whole RG3 thing a few years ago where you just knew. You hope that everything, and we understand injuries are part of the game, but, protect the student athlete, so to speak. Protect the kid.
Hey, the big fall sale at Crabtree RV Center starts tomorrow. Tomorrow through Sunday at Crabtree RV Center. Special deals on RVs and trailers. Door prizes as soon as you walked in. Any question you have about the RVs or trailers on lot, their experienced, knowledgeable staff is there to help you with answers. You can also find out why Crabtree RV Center was voted best of the best in Northwest Arkansas at their Big Fall sale. Starts tomorrow, runs through Thursday, right where I-40 and I-49 come together beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, and online at CrabtreeRV.com. Clay Henry will join us for the next couple of hours of halftime. Stay with us.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners.
Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see lots of sunshine with highs around 80, east winds under 10 miles an hour. Starry skies tonight with lows around 50. Sunny skies for Thursday with highs in the low to mid 80s. Stay mostly clear Thursday night, lows in the lower 50s. Sunny through the weekend. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Streaming on hitthatline.com.
You got a team in here. That's the perspective.
If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Halftime continues on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones. We've got still C45, Colton Little producing the show. I think Kristen Johnston will be along later on. Bring Clay Henry on here in a moment. We have your calls and texts as well at 877-377-6963 here on this Wednesday of the first of 2 bye weeks. Like to have 2 bye weeks. It felt like, I don't know. How are you on the 2 bye weeks in the season, Matt? The season started a little bit earlier, but I really like how this lays out for the Hogs with the next 6 games after playing 6, just sort of separated nice and neat in half. And you've talked about the season basically being 4 3-game pods. I like that you get a bye after the next 3-game pod.
Yeah, you want, as much as you're asking of these kids, you want them to be healthy and fresh. And these big-time games, the TV deals, there's so much money that goes into it. You want good products. So you see the bye week stack up to where you're getting teams that are kind of, I don't know if they're, so to speak, rivalry games, but big games, marquee matchups. And you see it littered throughout the whole SEC schedule. I mean, LSU just got a bye week before they're playing Ole Miss.
Yep. And Arkansas will get a bye before playing Texas, and nice to get one before they play LSU. The one and only Clay Henry, now senior columnist at hitthatline.com, former publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated, is with us for the next couple of hours. And Clay, good to talk to you today. I did miss you on Saturday, and I usually at least bump into Clay in the press box at halftime.
It just kind of dawned on me just a second ago that I didn't see you. And, I think I saw everybody else. I mean, I talked a little bit to Chuck and Bo, and part of what I just love is I'm kind of insulated from everything where I live now, and so these game weekends they're just a lot of fun just to see the guys and the gals. Alyssa Orange. It just. So I was like, man, I didn't see Phil, and that's my fault. I know where you're at. I could have come and found you. But I didn't. The open date thing, I did for 30-something years weekly magazines. In the open date, you don't publish, and that is bliss. I mean, it's just it was, and I don't ever remember a 2 open date season. They probably were some. I just don't remember them. But it was those weekends of the open date. I always promised Gene Ann, we're gonna do something really cool this weekend, both for me and for you, because she kind of just wishes me on my way during football season. I didn't take any days off. So
we had some texters earlier that referred to this as a honeydew week. It's the only time,
there's
the only weekend of the football season where husbands can actually just fulfill requests for fixing things, which I'm pretty good at breaking things anyway. Unless it's a computer, then maybe I can take it over somewhere to get it fixed. I'm still a Heisman Trophy voter, and one of the things that always bugged me about that is that, okay, I'm a beat writer, so to speak. I cover a team, and the weekends, because of the publishing of the magazine, were long and arduous. It was a grind, and sometimes I didn't see a lot of football. You see snippets of it, and so then that open date weekend, you're just like, I might watch 4 or 5 games. And have my smoker going. Just kind of do what fans do. It's like, man, there's going to be another good game and another good game, and then that's what I plan on doing. I mean, Saturday's a holiday. It is Yom Kippur, so I'll not eat and try to find my way to be absolved of my sins, of which there are many of them. But maybe watching a lot of college football will help out with that. I'd like to watch Ohio State and Oregon.
Absolutely.
I'd like to watch the Red River matchup. I got to watch Ole Miss LSU, because those are 2 of the next 3 Arkansas opponents. It'll feel nice being a fan on Saturday.
Okay.
I usually miss a lot of these games, or I have to listen to them on the radio.
I will eat your share of stuff this weekend, okay? I'll just take one for the team. I'll just eat a little more this weekend for what you would normally eat. So the Oklahoma-Texas game, I covered it for 14 years at the Tulsa World. We didn't have beats, so I just covered the big game every week. I covered Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. There's not a better setting, environment, atmosphere than, half the stadium is Oklahoma, half. Now, they're still playing in Dallas, right?
They're at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, they haven't changed that.
How many games are actually played at the Cotton Bowl? They got a bowl game each year.
Well, they might play some high school games. I don't know. It's not in the greatest neighborhood. You don't want to just go by just to look.
But it always coincides with the state fair, right? So it's going to be a little different
security
now.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and I like watching it. And it's not. There aren't any other rivalries quite like it. USC, UCLA, it isn't like that. And, they talk about Georgia, Florida. I have not been to see Georgia, Florida. I just can't imagine that it's like that.
What about when the Iron Bowl was played at Legion Field in Birmingham? That must have been the same idea, 50-50 fans, kind of meeting in the middle and everything. Yeah, but here's the thing about the state of Alabama. You think, it's split 50-50. No, it's not. No. If you went to Auburn, you're an Auburn fan. If you went to Alabama, you're an Alabama fan. And then all the rest, they're Alabama fans. That's pretty much the way that I understood it to begin with. Well, I mean, some fantastic games this weekend. You're starting really now to get into the meat of the schedule. I mean, just think having Florida, Tennessee. I mean, that would be a marquee game. That would be marquee ahead of Ole Miss and LSU a lot of years. Not this year. And now that you got Texas and Oklahoma as an actual SEC game, that is the game of the weekend.
It is. Yeah, it's in. Just to be blunt, we don't really know about Texas yet. This will be a weekend where you find out a little bit about them, and they're gonna. Giving them Mississippi State to start off, that didn't finding out about the SEC, and this is more like it. And then there'll be the explanation that I got from my dad when you came into the SEC. Well, what's it going to be like for Arkansas? What's it like playing Texas every week? Well, for Texas, the SEC is going to be like playing Oklahoma every week. Mm-hmm. And if you can make that analogy, and so this is where it starts, and then there'll be more of these type matchups where if you don't bring your A game, and nobody brings their A game every week, nobody can, and that's why I wrote this week. You had some wrecks. You had Missouri going to Texas A&M. They had a wreck. Tennessee, Alabama. The portal has evened the deck, and it's made it more like NFL, where, okay, if you've got it, you got a couple of openings, well, you go sign some guys in free agency. That's what the SEC teams are doing. They can go to Conference USA and take their best player because they can outpay them, or they might even find a great Division II. If you look through NFL rosters, there's Division II players. I mean, there's guys that that came out of the SWAC, that came out of you find some great players like that.
We got one. Is Armstrong? Was he?
He's came through the portal. That's right.
Yeah.
Now he was a big time player. I can't remember what
he was at, like A&M Commerce or something.
Yeah, but that's Broden. But maybe not.
No, Armstrong went to Commerce.
Yeah,
Broden was Bowling Green State.
There you go. Yeah, I got
Tesla
it backwards.
was, what was the name in the school in Michigan?
Hillsdale Community College.
Hillsdale. Not community. It's just Hillsdale College.
It's a college, yeah. So you can find them, and Arkansas did a nice job. You can say their evaluation on a lot of these guys on target. Carmona, maybe it didn't take a scientific rocket to figure that one out. He was on everybody's radar. A lot of other SEC teams. I think Auburn thought they were going to get him.
Yeah, but signing somebody, look on defense now, signing somebody like Steven Dix Jr.
Larry Worth.
Exactly. These are guys that didn't come from big-time schools. Worth, what was it, Jacksonville State? Dix was at Utah State, Arkansas State before that.
Anthony
Switzer.
Yeah.
You go get a guy like an Xavier Sorey, you'd be like, well, all right, everybody wants him. Absolutely everybody wants him.
Yeah, Drew
5
Sanders.
stars, can run like the wind. Slaughter, a guy that played 4 years in the SEC. A lot of people be going after players like that. Finding a player like Steven Dix Jr. and finding somebody like Larry Worth III, Anthony Switzer, it's just kind of Switzer is the one that went to Utah State and then and came from Arkansas State. He's from Marion, not Dix. But it's just these they're not finding guys from Division II, but it is a little bit of like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, and some of those defensive lineman backups, they really helped their depth with some guys that they brought in. Hey, how about that last play of the game? There was kind of consternation over playing backups, in the end of the Texas A&M game, and it's like, they went down the field against your backup defensive line. But how about Quincy Rhodes coming off his block, spinning and flushing the quarterback, and then Eric Gregory chasing him to the sideline? How would you like to have that 320-pounder? And he was moving. So my point is they rested some of these guys throughout the game, and they were fresh for that play.
Well, you could even see it. I don't remember if it was the drive before that or maybe earlier in the fourth quarter. It was about the same time as in the A&M game where A&M had to go the length of the field, or I think it was 90 yards, and you had I think it was Salee, Collins, Rhodes, and I can't remember who the fourth defensive lineman was, and they were stuck on the field for almost that entire drive. That's where A&M took the lead and took advantage of them maybe being a little tired once they got into the back half of the field. Those guys were on the field at the same time against Tennessee, and they stopped them this time.
Yeah, and you've got to have that. You got to play those guys in the defensive line. You got to rotate them, and I think I have a lot of confidence in Deke Adams, and that's who's making those subs. That's who's rolling them. That's not the head coach. In the defensive line, you trust your defensive line coach to know exactly where those guys are and when they need a rest, and also maybe taking them out when they're not quite ready for a rest, because you're just going to keep them all fresh. But I thought Eric Gregory didn't look like a defensive tackle that was completely gassed at the end of the game. He had his legs, and really discombobulated Nico, and I'll let you say his last name. I'm going to be like
Yamaleava.
Thank you very much. I won't have to say him again.
I stood in front of a mirror and practiced that for a day before the broadcast.
Yeah. Well, I listened to your pregame, and you did it well. And I liked you and Rick and Gino talking about how was Chuck going to handle it. And Chuck said it a few times, but it was Nico most of the time.
Hey, whatever you need to get through the game is fine with me.
Yeah.
With a name like that, I wouldn't blame him for that at all. I wonder also too about the alignment that they played, which is really where you're getting a lot of attaboys for Travis Williams. Is that the kind of alignment that you can play throughout the season, or was this tailored specifically to the Tennessee offense?
I think it was for the Tennessee offense, but let me speak to that. When I saw them line up early in the game, and Tennessee had, they had an extra blocker in the backfield, like an H-back, and Arkansas was playing a 3-2, and sometimes a 3-1 or a 4-1. You've got 4 or 5 on the box. You should be able to just turn and hand off and run it right down their throat. And Tennessee tried to do that at time, and they'd get 1, 2, 3. They stuffed them when they were deficient in the box, and it really frustrated them in their throwing game. It took away. They played 3 deep and were not going to get behind us. They did on a freaky kind of scramble play at the end, but they had 2 guys with that guy. He just kind of snuck away from him, with the kind of a horizontal move at the end. They were running with him, and their eyes left him to look at the quarterback because he was scrambling. That was kind of a fluky play, that 50-yarder at the end of the game. They did not give up big plays, those explosive plays that Tennessee has been getting for the last couple of years, last 3 years, really.
Matt, does that cause chaos? Isn't the right word. It's obviously confusing when you're seeing an alignment from a defense that you've studied for a week, and you have not seen that alignment yet, and you weren't prepared for it. Especially a freshman quarterback that was making only his 5th or 6th career start. So, I mean, that does cause mental chaos, doesn't it?
Well, it happens. It happens from game to game. They'll line up in something that you're not used to, and that's why you go in there on the sideline and make adjustments. And I think Clay had brought this up earlier in the year. I mean, when you're playing a young quarterback, you want to try to give him as much information to process and confuse him and make him uncomfortable. And I thought we did that for most of the game.
The thing that really stood out to me, and I mentioned it in the first half, and then again at the end of the game, Arkansas, and this is what's bizarre about open dates. Arkansas looked like the team that was fresher and coming off of an open date, and Tennessee looked like a team that had been in the grind and just didn't have it this week. And there's no explanation for that when you're coming off an open date. So it's not a given that you will, have your stinger and your zip back after an open date. You can lose a little bit of your timing. And I also think that just speaks to, how tough it is to get up every week in the SEC.
Calls and texts to halftime come in at 877-377-6963, and we definitely invite you to read Clay Henry's latest column at hitthatline.com titled Buckle Up for a Volatile SEC Grind. Half the column is a story about the worst wreck that Clay's been involved in. The other half is about what the rest of the season looks like potentially for Arkansas football. Clay's columns are brought to you by the Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders. They have another weekend of the Parade of Homes coming up, starting Friday, running through Sunday. 44 homes in the Parade of Homes, open noon to 5 daily. That includes the Showcase home at 2428 Brandywine Street in the East Village subdivision of Greenwood. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,000 square feet of amenities and details that you got to see. It's from the Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders, this year's Showcase home, and you can find a map and sponsors for this Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders Parade of Homes at fortsmithhomebuilders.com. And halftime continues right after this.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith has an incredible lineup for their meal deals. This includes crispy chicken fingers for only $9.99, served with seasoned fries and coleslaw. Whiskey glazed chicken slammers, $10.99. Buffalo chicken slammers, $10.99. Grilled salmon for $15.99. And Friday's big ribs for $14.99, all served with a side and fountain drink. Don't miss out on their happy hour, karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 50-cent wings on Monday. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling. In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, you want a telephone now? Push to a cigarette. Sometimes feel I should just go home, but I feel it will never forget.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, congratulations, Razorback fans. You have answered the bell. You have donated enough money to Arkansas NIL to put the Slobber Hog on the court at Nolan Richardson Court at Bud Walton Arena. There it is in all its glory, tweeted out by Hunter Yurachek, and now a lot of other accounts are retweeting. Big one too. Big Slobber Hog would take up the more than the entire midcourt circle. And that's the one that's got the 3, is that like 3 little drops of slobber? Yep, it's got the 3 little drops of slobber underneath his chin. Tongue hanging out, looks good. They've been asking for it for years now, Clay and Matt, and now there's no excuse for not making it to the Final Four, right?
That was the missing link. Yeah, I mean, it's the jinx is over.
It's a good-looking logo. People, they literally been asking for this for years and years and years. This was like, all right, so Hunter's tweet says, thanks to a late 6-figure donation, Justin Moore's concert money, and an incredible number of Razorback fans donating what they could, we hit the $500,000 goal to match the $500,000 donation. He made $1 million in a week. Notice he did not mention the $250,000 that Arkansas had to pay right to Tennessee for storming the field. I would assume that goes right to, I don't know, would that go to football budget? Would that go to football NIL? My guess is it goes right to NIL.
Maybe. How much fun do you think Vanderbilt had writing that check to Alabama? I mean, and would Alabama actually take it? Would they take that money?
I've always been told if somebody offers you some money that you weren't expecting, it's okay to take it.
Man, but you don't smile and say thank you. This is Vanderbilt money.
Yeah, it's not a check that gets put on the wall, that gets framed for everybody to see. It's not like the last $2 bill ever spent at a restaurant or the first $1 bill ever spent at a restaurant.
When you see those PGA Tour, when they used to hand them the big cardboard check, on the 18th green, when they want, it's like Vanderbilt's not going to show up at halftime and say, "Here's your check." That would be fun if they could somehow do that.
It would be fun if you could actually just cash one of those giant checks at some point. I don't think there's an opportunity to do that.
There's no one at Vanderbilt that ever considered that they needed to have collapsible goalposts, is there?
I would just assume that they all are.
Theirs were not.
I guess they weren't. You're right, because you could see the thing. You could see
it
when it gave out. It gave out.
Yeah, so they didn't have that. There was no need for it. That would be wasted money. But now they'll have to get them going forward, because it's the insurance company's going to say, "Yeah, you got to have those. It's dangerous."
Well, it's the traditional.
I wanted to send a text. I may still do it. Maybe I can do this during the show. But one of our fine cardiologists, surgeons in Northwest Arkansas, Charlie Cole, he was on the goalpost as a student in '99, and I just wondered if he went down there and climbed on the goalpost again Saturday night. That would have been cool to have a heart surgeon up there on the goalpost.
There's only one of us here that even knows what it feels like to touch a goalpost.
Or to dunk over one.
Or to dunk over one. That's right, over the crossbar.
Yeah.
So that's the traditional thing you do after a big upset in football. Basketball, you don't do it after an upset, but you do cut down the nets for a championship. Storming the court is still a thing for basketball. Heck, I've seen that twice in the last, 3 years, 4 years? Auburn, Duke games. Nobody ever does this for baseball. I've said this a number of times, even for championships. Like baseball fans apparently are much better behaved, or they just don't feel the need to run onto a field.
Yeah, the only thing I really remember is somebody like Rick B, taking his shirt off in the stands and twirling it around. That's kind of the baseball celebration that I've seen a few times. So the 99 game, where the goalpost went down to Dixon, that was a day game, different atmosphere after the game. And somewhere around 7 or 8 o'clock, I got finished with my work, and my family met us at the Hofbrau. We've got one daughter that's a freshman in college. She was there. Another daughter that was a senior in high school, and she was trying to make up her mind of, she had a bunch of schools where she could go with scholarships. And we're ordering dinner, and she goes, "Dad, Dudley Dawson writes these columns about, the athletes that commit. I'm committed to the Razorbacks right now." She made her decision. The excitement, the emotion of that game, and I'll guarantee you, there are people that made their decision to be students at the University of Arkansas in the excitement, the euphoria of that victory.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Well, then it's exposure for the
Not
university.
Student athletes, exactly.
What'd you think? I mean, it was the highest rated telecast of the day for college football, and I'm just throwing it out there. It's like, you know how Arkansas is viewed across the country, just as a state. It's small, it's poor, it's an afterthought for a lot of people. I think a lot of those near 6 million people that were watching might not really even know where Arkansas could be located. Might not have ever been to the state before. They see those drone shots from above the stadium and what campus looked like and everything. It was, wow, that looks like you're making a decision to go there, but it's almost like an introduction to Arkansas for football fans across the country. I think it's one of the great things about it.
I was, I don't have to work during the game. I can move around, and I was going into a couple of suites early in the second half and ran into Chancellor Robinson and Scott Verity. And, you know, at that time Arkansas hadn't won the game. In fact, they were behind. They might have been behind 14-3. But they were basking in what was, you know, a great atmosphere for the University of Arkansas. And, you know, the chancellor can appreciate that it's going to help enrollment. It's going to help giving. It's going to help, you know, Scott's, you know, director of advancement. I mean, that's a fundraising position. It's a good night to raise money.
It's a 3.5-hour commercial for your school with the football alongside of it. Big Keith, always good to talk to you, Big Keith. What's going on?
Big Keith up in the house. How you guys doing today?
Very good, thanks.
Hey, first of all, that Slobber Hall going to look good, man. That's going to be real good. And then second of all, on the baseball storming the field, you gotta realize the only big game that's worth storming the field is winning the World Series, and that's always an away game. It's not at home where the students are and stuff. So it's a little bit different than football. That's what I got to say.
That's true. I've been inside the ballpark in Omaha where it's like, all right, there's 28,000 people here, and I think 20,000 of them are Razorback fans. So it's a neutral site, but there is a reason why they refer to it as Baum Stadium North. But you're right, too. And it's also, I think part of it is also, it's like the act like almost like the act like you've been there, the crowd that says that, and I've said that before in some cases, too. Arkansas football hadn't been there for a long time, hadn't beaten a number 4 team or number 5 inside the top 5 at home since '99. So they hadn't been there before.
The celebrations. The celebrations that we enjoy in baseball are the dog piles when you clinch the trip to Omaha.
That's right.
But that's not the fans; those are the players doing the dog pile.
If we win the championship, the World Series of whatever you call it for college, they will.
Hopefully that's not a sign that baseball won't win a national championship, that he's in the middle of talking about it, and it's all of a sudden the phone just died on him. We got a break. 877-377-6963. Halftime returns right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is ultimately all about fun. So is the new Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off ticket. It's loaded with over $3 million in prizes of $100 or more, all the way up to the ultimate prize, $200,000. You could be the first to win it all. Try the Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off game new this October at local lottery retailers. Have fun. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This is Halftime.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding, from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South 0, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what it's for without eyes to leave them open for so long.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Here's Andy, who's giving us a call from Bentonville. Andy, good to talk to you today. What's going on?
Hey, good afternoon. This is kind of pertains to you a little bit, Phil. I was at my oldest daughter's wedding in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, which is right outside of Durham. Half of the room was Protestant, and the other half of the room was, I guess to say proper technical word, Jewish. And by the way, the Jewish people party. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I have never in my life seen anything like that. But,
was there a bride on a chair that was raised up above everybody?
Oh my gosh! It was bride on the chair, he on the chair. People are going ballistic. I'm just videotaping the whole thing. Going, I felt like I was out of a movie scene. And I don't know how to word this politically correct, but your people are crazy.
in a good way when it comes to weddings and parties. Sure, yeah.
Yes, I was just like sitting there going, wow, man, I need to just kind of crash these weddings all the time. This is where it needs to be. But
the truth, every
anyway,
day should include a Hava Nagila, as you had at that wedding, Andy.
I'm telling you, it's great. But sitting to my left, my babysitter / chaperone, because my kids wouldn't let me come without somebody watching over me because Dad gets out of control. He is a medical school grad out of UALR, so he's got Arkansas ties and he's from here. To his left is my 2 ex-in-laws who are Alabama grads. Then we got an App State grad at the table and 2 Iona fans at the table. And of course, you know, when Alabama's losing to Vanderbilt, things just got a little bit better and better and better. And as, you know, Arkansas won, App State lost, you know, the Arkansas regime in there, which are quite a few, you know, it felt pretty good, but it was kind of strange sitting at a table, 2 top 5 teams losing to unranked teams. When has that ever happened?
I don't think it had ever happened in the SEC. If it had, it's been over 40 years. And
yeah, that was a great win. I don't know where we are going from there because I was being half full guy, going, we're going to lose by 19. I'm going to the opposite right now, saying we're just always going to lose. I'm just trying to make it better, but it was one hell of a victory in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, one hell of a wedding. I just thought I would share that story with y'all. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Yeah, that is fun. Both the bride and the groom, and usually the mother and father of both of them, end up sitting on a chair, scared out of their absolute minds. The chair usually, quite often, does not have armrests, so they're just holding on for dear life as any available male with enough strength will help raise that person up above the entire crowd, and they just get to be bumped up and down for an entire song. Well, they're scared for their life, too, and celebrating.
And some of the guys that are holding the chair have had too much to drink.
I don't know what you're talking about, Clint. It's never happened
I'm just saying, yeah.
At a wedding before.
I've been to those, and, I just stand back and get out of the way.
Maybe the best idea is to just get out of the way with that. And I just wonder what those conversations would have been like before the games even started. Do you remember, Matt, we had Bob Kessling, the voice of the Volunteers, on last week? I think it was Thursday last week. And he's great. He's an incredibly nice man who's really good at what he does, Tennessee through and through. But you you even said something. I don't remember what it was you said, Matt, but you detected just a little bit of overconfidence from him. And I think that was probably portrayed by the Tennessee fan base and maybe by the team too.
Yeah, it was remarkable to watch. It really was, to see that defense fly around. Why wouldn't you be, though? And that's just, I think both you guys have brought this up. It's just a whole new season once the portal comes around. It just evens up the talent pool, evens up again. And Arkansas is not last year. This is not last year's Arkansas team.
We have to absolutely stop doing that. You can no longer look back at what happened last year and go by team rankings, team statistics, or anything. The first thing you got to look at when you're looking at a team in June, when you're reading your magazines and you're starting to figure out what you think of this team and that team, first thing you got to do is, you got to go look and see who they got out of the transfer portal, first and foremost. That's the first thing to look at. And this Arkansas team has been remade where they needed to be remade to on the portal, Matt.
Well, and one of the things that's and I think one of the reasons why it's even is all these teams are older collectively. Just like you see the teams in the Final Four that make it the last 5 years, they're all like graduate, fifth year, senior. You look at the average age of the teams they've gotten older everywhere because you're able to go pluck guys like an Armstrong. I don't even know if half these kids, once you entered school somewhere, they probably would finish their all 4 years at that school if it wasn't for the transfer portal.
You got the media guide, I scroll through it because I'm, when I'm writing, I utilize it. And you got about 20 pages of the returning players, and you got 30 pages of the newcomers. You've never seen anything like it. Yeah. I mean, the middle part of the media guide is all for newcomers, and they're not first-year players. They're 21, 22, just like what you said. Matt, if when you study a team when you're going to play them, and you see them make turnovers and turnovers and turnovers, I mean, you're watching defense, I know, as a quarterback, but if you're if you're Tennessee, you've seen Arkansas give it up in every game. I mean, you expect them to do it again, don't you?
Yeah, it was a game where Arkansas knew we had to keep hold of the ball. Did we even put it in their hands at all? Did he even have it? Yeah, see, I don't even remember really being worried about it. I was impressed. I've been impressed too how Satania's come along. Just absolute. It seems like he's getting back. I think he's so close to breaking one, even if it's a punt or just a little short pass crosser. I know he hit him on that over early in the game, but man, it was. Yeah, that's what we need going forward, though. If we can limit it to no more than one turnover a game, and number 10's healthy, I don't see any reason why we can't go at 3-3 in these next 6 games.
I remember thinking before the Tennessee game, it's like, man, it would be great for no turnovers. But then I thought to myself, all right, let's be realistic about this. There'll at least
Why
be
would
one.
you think they could suddenly do that? They haven't.
Exactly. There would at least be one. Let's just not have 2.
But
there were
they
none.
didn't.
And don't
There
be
were
a
not-
pick six. If it's a turnover, don't let it instantly lead to points.
But there weren't. He didn't throw into coverage.
Mm-hmm.
It's and you didn't have tip balls, you didn't have drop balls. It was all the things that have been happening, went away. And if you're Tennessee, you think, well, we're going to keep hitting them, we're going to keep putting pressure on them, but it didn't happen. And I know Tennessee didn't have any turnovers either, but there were a couple of chances for them. But it's a perfect illustration of what we've been talking about, that they have been okay physically. They just needed to clean up some things, and they did.
Hey, Matt, we got a great text from Chris in Springdale, and I'd forgotten this, but you'll remember. You remember when we let Bob Kessling go from the interview, and the last thing that you said to him was, "Take it easy on us."
Well, they did, and we appreciate that because
when you can get it.
Hey, we left some points out there, Clay, and to your point, to what we're talking about and why it hurts, I guess, or what makes you believe and still has hope, is we left points out. I mean, Satania's he's pretty capable of catching that ball. And then the one where we have like an 11-play drive, and then our right guard false starts, we go back, and then we have a guy open the flats and we short arm it. That led to 3, but that could have been 7. So, I mean, there were points that were left out there.
I kind of, in my mind, thought that it could have been 17-0 at halftime. And I thought the game was going to be the exact opposite. If you'll remember when Tennessee came in, and they were just pounding on us, moving down. This is a few years ago. And Jalen Catalon made like 18 tackles in the first quarter and a half to keep them out of the end zone. They had a lead, and then Arkansas had an avalanche in the third quarter and one going away. But that's what I thought was going to happen, that Tennessee was just going to hang in there despite getting outplayed because they played good in the red zone and then hit a couple of haymakers in the second half. But they fought back from that. They didn't quit. They just were resilient in the face of that. But so the defense is what I thought it was going to be, because I thought they were good defensively last year. They just were so bad a lot of the time offensively that it didn't matter. But they're starting to kind of come together on offense. And I think Singleton can play. I think he struggled at first, but then you saw him, kind of fire up his teammates with the way he reacted to some of those plays.
Hey, don't forget, if you're craving anything sweet and delicious, get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got locations in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, North Little Rock, JFK. On game day Saturdays, take home a pick 6 for you and your family. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through, and always ready to serve you. Back to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime after the break.
This is Halftime.
It's that time of year again. The Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders Parade of Homes is right around the corner. For 2 weekends, October 4th through the 6th and October 11th through the 13th, you can tour stunning homes featuring innovative designs and cutting-edge craftsmanship from noon to 5. And don't miss this year's Showcase Home, open every day from noon to 5 for the whole parade. For the Parade of Homes map, a list of sponsors, and this year's online digital magazine with the details for each home, go to FortSmithHomebuilders.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Come celebrate autumn in the natural state with Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Crabtree RV Center is having their big fall sale October 10th through the 13th. There will be special pricing and door prizes along with our experienced, knowledgeable staff to help you pick the perfect RV for your family. Come see why we've been voted the best of the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas. So mark your calendars for October 10th through the 13th and don't miss out on the big fall sale. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield? I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one. You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue. I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield. Technology? Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant. Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call. What's that number? 782-4441. Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
If I can reach the stars, pull one down to you, shining on my heart, so you could see the truth. And this love I have inside, everything it seems, but oh now I find it's only in my dreams.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Speaking of changing the world, another change to college football with the National Letter of Intent eliminated today by the College Commissioners Association that had sponsored it. And transfer windows have been shortened officially by the NCAA. So I don't exactly know how it works out without an NLI, but I don't think that portal committees have signed the NLI. I think that was high school players. So that's been eliminated. I think they're just going by either scholarship offers or financial aid offers. And I'd seen where the NLI program had been going on since 1963. So it's been eliminated now. I don't exactly know how that changes things. The portal window, though, that's changing. You're going from 45 days total for the year down to 30. Be a 20-day winter transfer window that starts December 9th. That's after the conference championship games. And then a 10-day spring transfer window starting April 16th. I thought it's interesting that they've changed the basketball portal to open with the coinciding of the ending of the second round of the NCAA tournament. That's a week later, in which I think you had some cases of players entering the portal from teams that were in the tournament. So it's all things changing in college sports. No more NLI, and down from 45 days to 30 days for the portal for football. Basketball remains open 30 days, but they've moved the opening of the portal for a week later.
This is how old I am. There used to be conference letter of intents, and then a week later there was national letter of intent. You could sign with two different teams for conference and then pick one of them.
That's interesting, and then kind of see what sort of offers you might get from either side. Third hour of halftime coming up in a moment. 877-377-6963. Back right after this.
Get the best deals of the year on select New Holland tractors and hay equipment right now at WT Equipment during New Holland's year-end value bonanza. Get the biggest savings with cash back plus 0% interest, $0 down, and zero due until 2025. Don't miss your chance to harvest our best deals on New Holland's best equipment during value bonanza now at WT Equipment. Offer ends December 31st or while supplies last. For commercial use only. Subject to credit approval and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see lots of sunshine with highs around 80, east winds under 10 miles an hour. Starry skies tonight with lows around 50. Sunny skies for Thursday with highs in the low to mid 80s. Stay mostly clear Thursday night, lows in the lower 50s. Sunny through the weekend. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Streaming on hitthatline.com.
You got to take it here. That's the perspective.
Smith, I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one.
and celebrate on somebody else's field. Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
One Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
HitThatLine.com columnist Clay Henry with us as well as we take you through the last hour of halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones with me. Kristen Johnston is in the studio now producing. 877-377-6963 for anything you want to hit on, calls or texts. Just to recap some news that we have picked up on, Taylen Green's knee has been described as a bone bruise by Sam Pittman on this morning's SEC teleconference. So I think initially the idea was it could be a strain of the MCL, but apparently that is not the case. Bone bruise sounds a lot better. The Slobber Hog is back for good at midcourt at Bud Walton Arena. Hunter Yurachek tweeted about that today. There's a series of photos of the Slobber Hog. It is real. It is not AI generated. So you're playing on that court the way that I think a lot of our listeners have been wanting to look at for a long time. Coach Pittman, guys, also said on the teleconference that kicker Kyle Ramsey will be out for a while. Did not specify a number of games or even what the injury was, but you could tell after his missed field goal in the first half, he grabbed at his groin, and you tell immediately that something happened there. So Matthew Shipley will be the kicker for at least within the next few weeks is what it sounds like. So he's no longer the backup kicker. Now he's the first-string kicker. And the news on Green, hearing that it's not a strain or a sprain of the ligament, and that it is instead a bone bruise, Matt, that makes me feel a lot better about his chances to be out there against LSU next Saturday.
Man, you get in a cold tub. You got the best treatment staff up there in the country, and you got what does Rolling Stones say? Time on your side. He's young. He's youthful. You're a little bit more stretchy and bendy, and you get a week off. So yeah, that's the bye week coming at a good time. But I think we're kind of talking about, hey, what do you think? Dividing this, three game pods, half the season, whatever. You got to have 10 if you're going to try to go out there and win 8-9 games.
Matt, did you ever have a similar injury to that?
To a bone bruise? I mean, I had a heel bone bruise, and you had to get it's a thing where you got to take away the pressure that you're putting on it. So you find a way to tape your ankle up or put a pad in there that takes pressure off. I mean, because time is what heals when you have a bone bruise.
Yeah, and they can calcify. There's some problems related to that, but he's probably going to be fine. And it probably still hurt though. Those bruises are nasty.
Well, we were wondering earlier in the show about, like a Taylen Green at 85% health. Let's say that knee, still is stiff or might have to wear a brace on it for whatever reason, even though it's bone bruised. Let's just say he's not at 100%, but you put him out there. What does Taylen Green look like as a quarterback playing at 85% where he won't be as shifty and won't have quite that speed or that ability to evade the rush? Matt even looked at that as a positive potentially, that it could force him to stay in the pocket longer, force him to read defenses a little bit more, maybe not lock on to Armstrong as tightly as he seems to be sometimes. Clay, I wonder what you think.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be a sitting duck. His ultimate value is that he's a moving target and he's hard to pin down. So you don't want to take away his strength. And the boots and the waggles are things that they do to get him away from pressures. One of the things that I'm watching that concerns me, that you have to, hopefully that he figures this out, is that he locks on to Armstrong and his head is over there. And if you're a defense, you can call a blitz that comes from the other side because he's not coming back to that side. He's not coming back to the receiver that the idea is that you take the ball where the blitz is coming from. But if you're coming for where his eyes are not, that's why he didn't find, was it Tesla? I mean, it was just floating free. I mean, because his eyes were on the other side. So that's that's what I worry about a little bit. Now that's different from what your question is, but that's what he's got to do going forward. But I don't want him out there if he can't move.
Yeah, because that's like it's taking away the thing that makes him
He's special.
the quarterback that he is.
Yeah, that's his gift.
So if he's not at 100%, when do you start thinking about starting Singleton next week?
If he can't practice, and you'll see it in practice. If he can't move in practice. Now, what I saw in Singleton and what Bobby Petrino has said all along is that he has some special gifts. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he has shown them in practice that there's certain plays that he really excels at. And he's a tailback more than a quarterback. He can do, if you think, okay, what's Lamar Jackson? Well, that's kind of what his abilities are, that he's going to make things happen with his feet. And he is a load. I mean, he's a solid guy that is going to get under you with his pads and can make plays. And I guess it was, you don't want to say what UAPB means in your, repertoire. It's like, but he was accurate in that when he came in, I thought. When I've seen him, I've liked him a lot, even in practice. So let's don't just say they can't if they don't have Green. And I think the coaches know that if he can't do all the things that make him special, that you've got to go to the next guy because he's got some gifts too.
I remember watching Singleton in the Auburn game when he came out. What was it? I think Talon had cramps for
exactly.
That was why he was out there, and he just didn't look ready. He didn't, not on the coaches. He just didn't look ready for prime time at that moment.
He didn't look ready when he went into Tennessee, but
that's right. But eventually
he kind of gathered himself.
Yeah, eventually he did look like he was ready to go.
And then he started pumping up everybody around him, and that's some magic, some leadership qualities that it's like let's go ahead and knock him in the face. We're in that last drive, in that. There is some value to what he did going forward. I mean, you put that in your mental reserve that I can do that, and it helps your teammates too.
I just keep returning to the idea that their defense is good enough to where I think you get a chance to win every game, and that's independent of who it is that's playing quarterback.
If you don't give them stuff. And that's the thing that you worry about a young quarterback. Is he going to make mistakes with the ball? I mean, you got to protect the ball. And that's I bet you when Matt Jones was playing his first few games, David Lee said that a few times.
The ball's precious. It's the most precious thing out there.
Treat it like treat it like what? A gold bar, just a little bit lighter than a gold bar, or like a series of gold bars, or like a or like your checkbook, where you actually used to carry a checkbook with you, and you're not going to drop that thing anywhere.
Yeah, or like when you're taking those burn-ins off the grill. I mean, they're just like, man, they're golden. You got to make sure you don't drop one of them.
Please don't eat the football, though, Clay. That's probably not a good idea.
You have to take a lot of sauce on that leather.
Tell you what you might want to eat is the specials over at Fish City Grill that they have going all throughout the month of October. Shrimp creamy pesto pasta. It's a bed of fusilli pasta with creamy tomato basil, topped with fresh Parmesan, artichokes, spinach, and cherry tomatoes. Of course, there's a heap of grilled jumbo shrimp brushed in herb butter. Got the Green Goddess shrimp tacos stuffed with blackened shrimp, slaw, and a special Green Goddess dressing, pickled red onion and cilantro. You get Cuban black beans and rice with that at Fish City Grill, South Bellevue Road, Rogers, or you can call them for curbside pickup and delivery at 479-636-8833. You can also go online to fishcitygrill.com. A couple of the texts coming in here. Chris in Springdale says he thinks that Arkansas can win an SEC game at home with Malachi Singleton. Tyler in Greenwood says he'd love a playoff game between Arkansas and Kansas State. Got to win out in order for that to happen in his mind. Jordan, I wondered about this, Clay. I haven't read this yet, but ESPN's got a deep dive on Barry Switzer. That's right there on the front of the website right now. Jordan wondered whether or not you'd seen the article, and I kind of wondered.
I haven't. I'll find it this
Where did they get the idea to do the article? It might have been from reading you or seeing what you did with him.
Well, he's pure gold.
Yeah. They know that too.
Yeah, he's pure gold, and he's 86, and I mean he may have just turned 87. I mean, in October was his birthday. It seems like, but it's like I couldn't have had more fun talking to him, and he has no filter. Anything you want to talk about, he's gonna return fire. I mean, he loves it. So yeah, I bet it's good stuff.
Well, it's about as deep of a dive as there is possible. It looks like it's got, I don't know, like maybe 8,000 words in this story. Titled
I had
Barry
a 3-hour
Switzer,
interview with him. Yeah.
The King of Norman, still unapologetically himself at 87, and then followed by, again, it looks like about 8,000 more words. Here's some numbers to throw at you for halftime. 877-377-6963. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
This is halftime.
5 seconds to go. Matt, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
End of season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's BV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice, Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Stuck inside these four walls, sent inside forever, never seeing no one.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
That was the sound of Ryan Stanek closing out the Mets' victory over the Phillies yesterday. And now the Mets have a chance to pull off a surprising series win later on this afternoon. 4:08 first pitch at Citi Field. 4 baseball games today. And the American League Series will return. Guardians-Tigers are first up. 2 o'clock. I guess that there's another reason for True TV to exist, not just the NCAA tournament, but they're showing Major League playoff games as well. Phillies and Mets are up at 4:08. Yankees, Royals just after 6. Dodgers and Padres just after 8. I just don't see there's any way I make it to the end of the Dodgers-Padres game. Stanek, Matt and Clay Henry, he has been a really good pitcher in the postseason throughout his career. 4 years in a row, Stanek is in the postseason. It's actually 5 years in a row because he was there with Miami in the 2020 division series. Was part of Houston, of course, the last 4 years. Starts this year with Seattle, traded to the Mets. Wasn't very good with the Mets over the last couple of months, but in this postseason, he's been really good. Just 1 run, 4 1/3 innings. He's got a career postseason earned run average of 259. Does have a World Series championship with Houston in 2022, and he's the one Razorback who's left in this postseason since the Orioles were knocked out.
So he's a Kansas City guy. That area anyway. And Arkansas has really had some nice players, and that's where Dave Van Horn grew up. But he was the first big time player that they signed from that area, and then there's been a whole bunch more. I mean,
now, remember, I think he turned down something like $2 million in order to come to Arkansas. Would have been a first-round pick out of high school.
They knew how good he was. I mean, he was terrific, and he wanted to be a Razorback. And he pitched for Dave Jorn. can remember, I think it was, his last year at Arkansas, and he was starting to kind of figure things out. I mean, he'd been a thrower and then gradually became a pitcher. And I can remember talking to Dave Jorn at Omaha at Bellevue East or whatever that high school is that they would, go have their workouts. And those were some places where you had some great interviews. They're not headed, they're not hustling to do anything. After those practices, you could talk to everybody. And Dave Jorn told me, he says, he's starting to realize that you don't have to win the teddy bear at the county fair every time you rear back and throw it. And I was like, oh, what? He goes, well, when you win the teddy bear, you got to hit 95 or you got to hit 100 and you win the teddy bear. It's based on the radar gun. And said he's realizing that 92 location will get him out. Now every once in a while you want to throw it 100.
I thought the teddy bear was like you would guess your own speed. You get 3 throws, you get 2 to warm up, and then the third you would guess your speed.
There's some of that. Yeah, there's some of that. But some of it was you have to top a certain deal. And then of course, the terrible part about that is they could calibrate those guns where you couldn't get it to 96. It's like it's a slow gun, but you don't know that. It's like so.
One of the jobs I had as an intern for the minor league team in Akron, this would have been like the 3rd job I had in baseball, 97 season. Only place I've ever been fired from, but that's a different conversation. You should show up to work no matter what. Let's just put it that way. So for the intern program, sometimes they would for each homestand you had a different job that they would rotate you around. That's where I realized, don't ever put me in the customer service booth. You do not want me in the customer service booth. That is not a place for sarcasm. But running the pitch speed is, and I would challenge fans out in left field, running the pitch speed to see who could throw harder. Enough of this like guessing your own speed. We're competing here. And I did walk away, I think, with an arm injury after that homestand. The hardest I ever threw was 79. 79 was the hardest. I could never get to 80 miles an hour.
Matt, did you ever throw for a radar gun with the baseball?
I want to say in 9th grade was the last time I was on a radar gun, maybe 78 or so.
That's pretty good.
I was 14.
For an 8th grader.
9th grade, that's good. That's really good. So all right, I don't know if this is a dumb question or not. What is the usual speed that is thrown by a professional quarterback with a football? Does anybody ever worry about miles per hour? Because that's all you talk about in baseball with a pitcher is how hard he throws and RPMs and all that kind of. Does anybody ever worry about the speed that the quarterback is throwing the ball at?
They just started doing that at the combine now. Quarterback grip strength. You go out there and it's really more the eye test and the sound. Like Ryan Mallett, Tavares Jackson. There's certain quarterbacks the ball just sounds different. You're like, oh, that guy has it.
You can hear it spin.
Oh my goodness.
So you're exactly right. And I wrote this one time. The guys that I heard the ball spin was Troy Aikman, and I don't remember Joe Ferguson, but my dad told me when I was telling him about Troy Aikman, he says, "Oh yeah, you could hear Joe Ferguson's ball when it came by, it spin." Then the other thing is I've always heard the receivers is like, when do you need padded gloves? That's when the ball's coming pretty darn hard. But Tavares, you could hear it. Mallett, you could hear it.
We had a deal. Somebody was talking about who they like to warm up with. I don't know if it was that Woods that called in and was talking about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was the opposite. I wouldn't warm up with Tavares. He'll hurt your hands.
No.
Yeah.
No. You have bruised hands. So I saw Joe Ferguson at Chris Mortensen's memorial service, and they lived really close to each other in Bella Vista, got to be friends. And so he came. Is it Lake Fork, Texas? He's down on a Bass Lake now, Joe is. And his wife Sandy came up and is like, we talked a little bit and says, one of Joe's prized possessions in his, memento room or whatever you call it, trophy room, is a football. And he says, your dad was at practice, and the first ball that he threw, receiver caught it, and rolled it towards the manager. And it says, your dad went and picked it up and tucked it under his arm, and when practice was over, gave it to Joe and said, this is your first pass as a Razorback. And he kept it all these years.
That's pretty cool. That's the kind of keepsake that I would want. Would definitely want something like that. 877-377-6963. And all I could think of where you guys were having that conversation was the line from Major League. It's a great velocity. Sounded like it. And every once in a while, there's a pitcher's fastball where it's like you can smell the catcher's mitt. And not the sweat coming out of the guy's hand, but you can actually smell just a little bit of leather, just a tiny little bit of leather from that baseball. All right. Want to remind you about, our friend Clay Henry's columns on hitthatline.com are brought to you by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. You're renewing your Arkansas hunting license. You renew so much more than the hunt. You renew traditions. Hunting license season is wide open, so don't put it off. Today is the day. You've got to make sure that you pull the trigger on the most essential part of the hunt. Renew your hunting license at huntnatural.com. And to get with Halftime, it's 877-377-6963. The home stretch is approaching, and we'll do that right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I need your arms around me, I need to feel your touch. I need your understanding, I need your love so much. You tell me that you love me so, tell me that you care, but when I need you, baby, you're never there. On the phone, long distance, always through such strong resistance. First you say you're too busy, I wonder if you even miss me. Never.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime here. We are in the home stretch, and let's see. It is a Wednesday. It is college football day today. Day 7 of 55 of football every day. Let's see. You get the New Mexico State fighting Tony Sanchez's and the Jacksonville State fighting Rich Rodriguez's. Not too much interest in a game that the teams are combined 3-7, although New Mexico State, I mean, that's where Diego Pavia went the last couple of years. And he should just be given credit for having back-to-back seasons with a winning record for a program that hadn't really had many winning years at all in the history of New Mexico State football. Before Pavia got there, they went 2-10 in 2021. Then they go 17-11 with him at quarterback. Jerry Kill was the head coach. Now he's quarterbacking Vanderbilt. They lost the offensive coordinator, Tim Beck, to Vanderbilt. He brought not only Pavia with him, but I think he brought Jerry Kill with him too to serve as like an analyst or a consultant for the head coach Clark Lee. And now they're right back where they were before at 1-4. Should say something about a quarterback in Diego Pavia that you can win 10 games at New Mexico State, something that had never happened since 1960. And then go on and be the guy that everyone's talking about after being the main reason why the Commodores beat the Alabama Crimson Tide. And he's sending his agent's name out there for social media because of the NIL opportunities that he is now being given. And I'm assuming there's going to – hey, here'd be a great giveaway for Vanderbilt football at some point. Maybe basketball can do this when they schedule Alabama. $100,000 replica checks to Alabama. Just says Alabama football on the front. Put the $100,000. Make sure you stamp void on it and give it away when Alabama and Vanderbilt play basketball.
Beautiful. I like it.
Could be a good one. Could be a really, really good giveaway.
Yeah, I think that's what you ought to do. I mean, they're gonna chop the goalpost up and sell that. So that's an NIL revenue stream, isn't it? I mean, they're gonna do something like that. But hey, that guy's got talent. I mean, he almost got Missouri too. I mean, don't forget wasn't that a double overtime game or something crazy a few weeks ago?
I think so. Hey, we got to get your idea here on LSU and Ole Miss, and because this is a game that I think everybody that's listening will be watching because you get both those teams over the next month, LSU next weekend, and then Ole Miss just before the next week off, November 2nd. I mean, it should be a really, really good game. I see Ole Miss's sponsor is favored on the road, 3.5. I can see why Matt thinks LSU is going to pull this one off. My idea is Ole Miss. I think they got their mojo back with the blowout win at South Carolina, showing they can win on the road, and that is a tough place to win football games. Death Valley at night, I know that's a different animal, though.
Kentucky got their attention, and we'll see how long that their attention span is. But they played differently last week, but this is a rivalry game. I think we don't get it, but LSU and Ole Miss, they don't like each other, and it's Ole Miss probably dislikes LSU a lot more than they dislike us. LSU dislikes Ole Miss more than they dislike us, which, that it's a rivalry game.
I think the quarterback from LSU is a better pro prospect than the quarterback at Ole Miss as well. So
Really?
I like it when the quarterback's better. But yeah, Ole Miss is going to be. I mean, they're stingy. They're physical, but they got some dudes at LSU as well.
Yeah, that's one of the games that I want to see.
They do have a common opponent, and it's South Carolina. LSU survived South Carolina. Heck, you can make cases that Carolina should have won that game. 36-33, LSU defeated the Gamecocks. Ole Miss just ran roughshod over them, 27-3 last week. I mean, they basically did what they wanted to against them.
Yeah, I think that every week is different. Every matchup is different. Some teams in their mental, I wouldn't want to be playing Tennessee this week. I mean, it's like South Carolina didn't want to be playing.
So then
Ole Miss.
you want Ole Miss to win this game because that's who we play next? Is that who do we play next?
No, we play LSU.
So you want
LSU to win.
You want LSU to win
Yeah, I
because
want
that's
them to be
it. Yeah,
cruising.
you don't want them coming off a loss.
Yeah, I want them being cruising. But I mean, LSU probably has. Arkansas has benefited in the past playing LSU the week after LSU played Alabama. Alabama and LSU both had open dates before they played each other, and then they got after each other in insane ways. And you want to play that. You want to play that team after they have laid it all, whether they win or they lose. I think Arkansas, got LSU in a good spot. What do they call those games? The week is in your benefit. There's a phrase for that.
It's like a trap.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's exactly it. It's a trap game. So LSU was in the trap position for Arkansas, and you saw a different LSU. Tennessee did not seem to have their stinger in this game, and maybe it's because of what Arkansas did on that opening drive. It's like just take it to them, like 9 minutes.
Their running back Sampson even said post game that he was criticizing himself about this, that he was. I think the term he used was lackadaisical throughout the bye week. I heard Sam this morning on Chuck and Bo talking about the importance of staying mentally prepared this week and to take your time to heal physically. I don't know exactly how you stay fresh mentally and emotionally, because they did the same things that I think Arkansas is doing this week. You're studying up on your opponent and everything, and studying up on yourself and the things you need to improve upon. But I guess it's more of just like an attitude that you take to the field. And I don't know if it was a matter of being lackadaisical throughout the week or just lackadaisical against the opponent that they might not have taken as seriously. Though I just have trouble believing that sometimes, that you'll take an SEC opponent and not take them seriously. Like, is that a reason why Alabama lost to Vanderbilt? Because they looked at the logo and thought they can't hang with us? That's what we do as media sometimes. That's what fans do. I just can't. I've never, Matt, thought that you can take the field and act like you just show up and you win. But I know it's happened before.
Yeah, so Phil, I've heard coaches speak on this subject, and I'd be interested Matt's thoughts, but I'm going to lay it out. And Houston Nutt and a lot of other coaches have, Lewis Campbell told me that, when you play a big game and your team is excited about it, their preparation and their attention to detail and the way they study is at a higher level. And it's not about that you practice harder. No, it's the fine focus that you have, razor sharp, and that you're making sure that you don't leave anything out in your preparation, your film study, your meeting. Everybody's is hyped up in all of that because of you're going to play Texas or you're going to play Alabama, and then all of that focus comes into play during the game. It isn't that you play harder in the game; it's that you've practiced better and you're prepared. And perfect preparation makes for a higher level. And so if you're not focused on Arkansas that they can beat you, maybe your focus isn't good enough. Matt, you've been through all that.
Well, it's like when it used to be what you're getting ready for a bowl game or getting ready for an SEC game, but it's like when you preseason football in the NFL, then you go to the regular season, then you go to the playoffs, and you see the business side. You see everybody turn up their attention to detail, the extra film study, and I think sometimes too, kids are just learning how to study film in college. They're just kind of getting a grasp of it.
Yeah, I just don't imagine that there's going to be another opponent that won't take Arkansas seriously.
It happens every year. They're kids. You got to understand that it happens in basketball all the time. SEC we go lay an egg. When you're 19, 20, 21 years old, you're still learning, but it happens every year.
That's legit, Matt. I mean, I certainly didn't take everything that I was doing seriously at that age either. I wasn't playing football. I wasn't playing baseball. I didn't have responsibilities that had to do with the hopes and dreams of a fan base and a state on my shoulders. But I also wasn't really good at doing the things that I had to do at that age. So that has to go along with it. And I got to remind myself sometimes that these kids, these student athletes, I think they're a heck of a lot more responsible than I was at that age. I don't think I would have been able to stay on a team. 877-377-6963. When it comes to anything you want to get on here. Chris wanted to know if you think you storm the field if you keep winning home games like this. I mean, I guess it would depend on what Texas's ranking is when they come in. And if Arkansas wins that game, can you do that twice in a season? I mean, would that be another $250,000? Sooner or later, it's like, all right, you can't be like, hey, we'll just keep writing the check.
If it's Texas, you write the check.
I guess so.
Well, if you beat
you're asking
LSU,
the wrong guy, Phil.
That's true.
If you beat LSU, you beat Mississippi State, then you beat Ole Miss. There's no reason to storm the field if you beat Texas, because then you're going to be the number 3 team in the country by that time. If you end up going on that 4-game win streak.
Well, yeah, just think of it in these terms. We don't know
which
where
would
Texas
be a 5
is
game
be.
because you count Tennessee.
They might be number 1 when they come in here. I don't think they will be. I think they're going to. They're going to have some stumbles, just like everybody else in the SEC. I think this is didn't you all have Bill King on yesterday, and he talked about the how much tougher the SEC is this year because of all the portal. It's you just can't slide through it, week after week. Somebody's going to get you. It's kind of like Dixon Street. It'll get you. Isn't that what Baker Mayfield? I mean, Razorback Stadium will get you. That I think that if Texas comes in here and they're number 1 and you beat them, I think you're going to have the same thing all over again. I mean, storming the field.
Well, and that one against Texas in 21 felt more like catharsis than anything else. That was not a great Texas team. I know they were ranked in that game, but by the end of the season they were not, and I think the Razorbacks kind of exposed them. That was more, to me, that was more about just you came off of COVID and the pandemic. You didn't have full stadiums in 2020. It was Texas. You still had the feeling of the Chad Morris years, even though it was Sam's second year. That felt cathartic. This one against Tennessee, that felt more like we just actually beat the team that everyone's talking about as potentially being a national championship contender.
So I thought coming in, and talked to some coaches, not Arkansas coaches, just from around the country, and I've got a couple of good friends in Austin that had watched Texas practice, and they said Texas doesn't have the physical maturity in the offensive and defensive line that is required in the SEC. Now, you can argue that they've helped that a little bit. They've gotten better in that respect. I mean, I think Oklahoma is right there now. Their offensive line doesn't have that physical edge that you required in the SEC. But Texas is better in that respect right now. But that Texas team was soft. Let's just cut right to the chase. I mean, they couldn't run the ball. Arkansas, would they run for 300 or something? I don't know. It was a bunch. But they lined up and just ran right at them, whipped them.
That court storming, field storming was about the logo that you'd beaten.
Absolutely.
And I think it had something to do with it was almost like also a celebration of the end of the pandemic for people.
You got it. People are there. You're not limited to how many people, but there's and let's don't lose sight of the fact that a lot of those students, what were there, 7,000 or 8,000 students in the stadium for that game? A lot of them are Texans. A lot of them. Now, somebody says more than half the students are from Texas. Now, that's not true. There's still more Arkansans than Texans, but it's a lot. And a lot of those kids are at Arkansas because they couldn't get in at Texas or Texas A&M. They weren't number one in their class in the admission standards, and those kids don't forget that. So there's some hatred for Texas in the student body that maybe somebody like Ty Richardson doesn't get. I keep hearing Ty say that, there's not a hatred for Texas. Absolutely, there still is.
877-377-6963.
Don't get me started.
Touch on that. Yeah, we did get you started. I think you got yourself started there a little bit, but I can feel that hatred of Texas. I can feel it coming from fans of all the sports at Arkansas, not just football, but I felt it through baseball. I think the basketball programs have played for a long, long time, but I mean, if you think you don't hate Texas, I think you're going to very soon anyway. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up halftime in just a moment on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app.
This is halftime.
Postseason is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I'm with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know you're a wizard here at First Financial Mortgage, but you do okay with the sticks as well.
Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 5. I've been in the golf game for a long time.
Question is, what are you better at, golf or lending?
I have to say that equally both. I've used golf in my career to kind of help propel it as well. I used to prepare hard with golf. I do the same thing in work. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax. Get extra for your trade or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
The Henry family laid the foundation for sports media in this state, and that foundation still stands strong to this day. The Greater Fort Smith Association of Home Builders knows a thing or two about a good foundation, and they're proud to sponsor Clay Henry's latest column. Be sure to check out the Parade of Homes happening on October 4th through the 6th and 11th through the 13th from noon to 5 daily. Don't miss Clay's columns every week, only on hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Let go of regret. Got to bet on yourself. That's your best bet. Look at the line, take over the fucking side, I get to come on the show. And we'll fix everybody and get what saying is so. Fuck the naysayers, cause it don't mean a thing. If this is what style we bring. And I just want it.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You guys see the Tropicana Las Vegas came down? I don't know if it was early in the morning or late last night, but one of the more famous hotels in Vegas is no more. And it is, they tore it down to make room for the new A's ballpark. I don't know if I've ever rooted any harder for a ballpark to not be built than that one right there. But it's a piece of Vegas that is. I never made it to the Tropicana. Did you guys ever make it there, Matt, Clay?
Is that on the Strip or Fremont?
I think it's on the Strip.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I walked by it. I did a lot of walking on the Strip just to exercise. You know, that's the only place where you think, well, I'm going to walk to that building and I'll be there shortly, and you realize that it's a mile away.
Did you ever make it to the Tropicana? Are you a Vegas guy? You
Caesar's
like going?
Palace.
Okay.
Would have been set in the book and, watch the games.
See, I was at the Excalibur and the Cosmo, so I never made it to the Tropicana. So that I remember, and my son noticed it when we were watching the story about it this morning on the Today Show. That's where some of the famous scenes from The Godfather was filmed. But that's where the A's ballpark's supposed to go. I also read the Nevada Commission that's holding on to the tax money has said that they still do not have I forget the word that they used to sort of make it seem like a viable financial plan from the A's owner, John Fisher, to actually have the money that he says he has for the A's portion of the money that they got to build this ballpark with. So I still don't know if it's going to happen or not. You may end up with just a giant hole where the Tropicana used to be and nothing going there for a little bit.
Oh, it'll be another hotel. It's not a ballpark. So I've got a great Caesar's Palace story. sports editor, my mentor, Bill Connors at the Tulsa World, when he got married, he and his wife went to Vegas for their honeymoon, and they had a suite, one of the penthouse suites at Caesar's Palace. And there's a knock on his door as they just checked in, and there is Frank Sinatra. And he says, excuse me, but this is my birthday weekend, and this room was reserved for Dean Martin. And the Rat Pack's all coming. And I would like for you to be my guest at my birthday party, but we're going to move you to a different room. And that's what they did.
I think I would think in most of those places in Vegas, if Sinatra came in and said anything, the answer would always be, yes, sir, how high?
Well, but he did it. He didn't send somebody else. He was humble and said, they made a mistake, but we're gonna make it good. And they had the front table of course his birthday party was, a concert basically. And when he started it, he said, I would like to recognize Mrs. Connors that, gave up the suite last night, But it was, when we would make road trips together to go cover OU football or what, he would put on cassettes of Sinatra. He loved Sinatra.
Yes, sir. How high? You do the same thing for George Strait.
I do.
Ask you. You
Yeah,
do
I
the
do.
same thing. All right, it's been fun today. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. We'll have everything that we said today on that. And stay tuned for Ruskin and Jack coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Dave Van Horn will be with us to talk about the fall series against Oklahoma State and his thoughts on the Arkansas baseball team. Bob Holt, Brett Dolan for the usual Thursday visits as well. And now for Clay Henry and for Matt Jones, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening today. Get up, get out, and get better.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services. Where your smile